Okay, we're back, and today we're gonna teach you how to do some tactics. I thought it would be fun to reset my tactics rating, walk you through the thought process real slow of doing tactics for a couple reasons. One, when I was starting out, I would watch some videos on how to do tactics, and I thought the people were so high strength that even though they tried to go slow, they didn't actually walk through every step slow enough for me to understand. So, I'd have to like pause the video, or they would just go crazy doing tactics because they're all rated like 2,500 and I'm rated like 1,000. So, I thought it'd be fun to do that. And some people don't like playing games, they like just doing tactics puzzles as like mental exercise. So, I'll go through maybe 5 problems over the course of 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, because I was at the grocery store earlier. I paid for my groceries. I was walking out onto the street with my bag, and like as I rounded the corner, I was like, swinging the bag, and a kid ran around the corner, and I like hit the kid in the head with my grocery bag. Like I crushed this kid. He like on the floor. But when I got home, I found like all the eggs that I had bought were broken by the bag hitting this kid's head. So I got to go back to the grocery store, and like his mom was like screaming at me, but it's like New York City, so everyone's screaming all of the time. So I got to go do that again. I go to the grocery store twice in one day. So if I don't go now, like I'm never leaving my apartment, so I got to do that. So the first thing we look at in tactics problems is we're going to evaluate the position. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to see, are we up material? Are we down material? Do we have equal material? So for the sake of the video, I'm just going to highlight to cancel pieces out. So we each have a queen. He's got 2 bishops. I have 2 bishops. These knights cancel out. These rooks cancel out. And then he has 3 pawns on this side and 3 pawns on this side. And so do I. So it looks like we have equal material. Okay. And the first thing we're going to look at in a position are forcing moves. So we'll go in order of checks and then captures. So do I have any forcing checks? Yeah, I have one, which is queen g7 check, but he just takes back, so that doesn't seem like a good idea. Do I have any captures? Well, queen takes the bishop is out again because the pawn covers that. So the only other forcing capture I have, and again, queen takes here, queen takes, that's no good, would be bishop takes knight. And then he needs to respond to that, so he would probably respond with bishop takes bishop. And then I'm noticing one move down the line, I have 2 attackers on this piece, and he only has 1 defender. This is actually a pretty complicated tactic for the first 1,001. Usually like checkmate in 1 or whatever. There's the only time in my life I spent like 550, organic, big brown cage-free eggs. They're like the chicken is raised in like a hotel in Hawaii. So when I go back, I'm just gonna pay like $2 for eggs that it's like the chickens were like locked in Guantanamo Bay or like prison. Like, how it's like 2.99 or like 140 for eggs, and it's like these chickens have never seen sunlight. They don't know what happiness is. So I'm just gonna buy those eggs. So again, takes, he takes back, I take this, he takes, I take, and I'm up a piece there. That seems pretty good for equal material. So takes, takes, takes. Good job, us. And it says we got 5 points with a 70% speed rating. We're not going to go super fast in these when you're starting out. You want to solve for accuracy, not speed, because I want to get better. I don't want to get faster. That's a stupid sentence, but like, if you're rated 1,000 or like 1,200 or like 1,400, you should be playing slow games and focusing on playing the right moves instead of playing fast moves. It's like the grocery budget. It's just, I should stop talking about this. I mean, it's technically assault, but like, I'm not going to, like, there's a pandemic. I'm not doing that. Okay. So let's stop talking about that. And again, let's evaluate the position. I have 2 knights. He has 2 knights. I have a rook. He has a rook. queen, queen, and then 2 pawns over here. He's got 2 more pawns. Okay, so I can see from the highlights, black is up a rook and 2 pawns for 7 points of material. So we probably need a pretty good attack going here to gain back the material, try to win the queen, or checkmate our opponent. So the first thing we're going to do, again, is look at forcing moves. Checks. Do we have any checks? Well, the first thing I see is I have queen to h5 check. And the only way he can block that is pawn to g6. And then another forcing move, a check. And that looks like checkmate in 2. Because my bishop's covering this way, and he can't stop it. And normally when you're doing tactics, you want to look for something better if you have a good move. But checkmate is one of the best moves in chess. It's probably one of the top 3 best moves in chess is checkmate. I'll just double check, do I have anything else? Check, he takes. And I just really like this check. He blocks, checkmate. So I'm going to do that. And look at that. Another 5 points for us. 2 for 2 on tactics ratings. I've spent $60 on groceries. Gonna be like 65 again in a couple of minutes, but hey, doesn't matter. Need to really stop talking about that and focus on something else. So we're gonna take these rooks away, these bishops away, these pawns, and then I have 1, 2, 3 pawns. 1, 2, 3 pawns for black. So we're at equal material again. And then I'm going to look for forcing checks first. We haven't gotten to problems where I've needed to look further than the forcing moves and captures, but we'll just start with that. So check on h1, drops the rook, so it's not that. Check on h6, seems like checkmate because the bishop is defending and this rook is covering all these squares. So I mean, again, checkmate in 1 seems like there's never going to be any better move than that. Unless, like, I guess the best move would be, like, black resigns or black, like, knocks the pieces off the board. I've had that happen in one game before. This old man, I went to a chess club, he just knocked all the pieces onto the floor. And I was like, that means you resign, right? Because I'm not putting these pieces back on the board. And he got real snippy about it. And I'm just like, whatever, old man, you know? I'm just doing this to like have fun. You've only got like 10 years of chess left anyway. I have my whole life ahead of me. So I'm gonna definitely edit this out of the video. Yeah, but I like checkmate in 1. So does the computer. Again, 5 points. We'll do 2 more tactics problems. Talk about something else. I went on a snowboarding trip with my friends like a week or 2 ago. And one of my friends is +1 was one of my ex-girlfriends, so that was real fun to go snowboarding with my ex-girlfriend. Pro tip for you guys, if you're going to go on a snowboarding trip with me, don't bring my ex-girlfriend, because I do not like that. 5 pawns, 3, 4, 5 pawns, equal material. Look at that. One time, like, I broke up with a girl when I was like 22 or 23, and I went home to my parents because I was real sad about it. And then they turned on the TV during dinner, and she was on a game show on TV winning like $100,000, and that really didn't make me feel better. So, yeah, don't do that either. Don't hang out with my parents because they just make you feel bad. Okay, checks. We don't have any checks in this position, so we'll move to the next one. Captures. Do we have any captures? Well, the only real pieces that are doing anything are this queen and this bishop. And this capture on h2 is just complete nonsense. We don't even want to consider that. This queen is being attacked, actually. So, you know, this capture loses the queen. So, can't move here, can't move here, can't move here. This queen's actually, I don't want to move back because it's a tactics puzzle and it's probably not one of those moves to start. So The only move I'm really thinking about that's like a forced capture that gets my queen out of danger would be bishop takes this pawn. And then if pawn takes pawn, then I can take that rook. He takes back, and I take again. So that's gaining material. That seems pretty good because we're in an equal material position. I'm trying to think, do I have anything else? If he doesn't take back, if he just makes some like random move, like, I don't know, this, then I take with check, and then I'm forking these two pieces. So I got like eggs all over the rest of my, I gotta like wipe off my groceries. I shouldn't have just jumped into making this video. Yeah, so it looks like bishop takes, pawn takes, queen takes is the move. That's just winning me material. Do I have anything better? Doesn't look like it. Again, you know, don't really want to move that. Say I do that, he just takes back. It's pointless. These pawn moves are pretty slow. They don't do anything. So we're going to go with bishop takes. And the line was right. Cool. All right, good job, us. We're going to do one more problem for this video, and then I need to go, again, deal with the groceries, and then maybe see a therapist or something. I don't know. So let's cancel out the material here. 1, 2 pawns over here, pawns over here, 2 pawns, 2 pawns. Okay, so he's got a bishop, we have 2 pawns, so black is up a point of material. Black's king safety, though, is horrible. So first thing I'm going to look at are checks. The only check I have is queen to e8, which is covered by the rook, so we're going to ignore that. Do I have any captures? Don't really have any captures either, because this is a stupid move. So now we're getting into like slightly more advanced tactics here. Don't really have any sort of attack on his king. And then the thing I'm noticing immediately, my eyes are drawn to this, is f3 would fork the rook and the queen. That looks pretty good. That would put us ahead in material. I don't really see any other move, like, this doesn't make any sense. These pawns can't move. Don't really see anything better than f3. Yeah, so we're just gonna go with f3. He will probably just like move the queen. We take, he takes back, something like that. That sounds pretty good. So I actually didn't consider that move, but we just kind of reevaluate the position. My queen has no defenders, so before we take this rook, we need to take this queen. So he'll take back, and then we take the rook. So it's important, like, this will happen a bunch of times when you're doing tactics. You might see the first move, but they play a follow-up move you're not expecting. So just pause, reevaluate the position, consider your life choices, you know, be safer with your groceries. So we'll take, and now we're up material. And hey, we ended up doing that faster than the last one, so we gained a little bit of extra points. And yeah, that's tactics to start. We went through some checks, some forcing moves. That was the first one where there was no check or capture immediately, so we had to think a little bit more outside of the box. But the position was pretty simple. So if this was helpful, you know, I can not do any more tactics and only do them on video, keep going. And yeah, I gotta go to the grocery store and try not to fuck up a kid on the street.